You ever make a bad financial decision?
I've only ever made really solid. No, of course, yes.
I was like, oh,
What?
wow, impressive.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
you, when you make a bad financial decision, what do you do? What does it feel like, and what do you do?
It's a similar feeling to waking up after sleeping through your alarm clock,
Oh,
like a level of regret and oh my gosh, am I gonna make it to
I
this is
can't remember the last time that hasn't happened to me since like college. Sleeping through the alarm,
Yeah.
oversleeping.
yeah.
I kind of remember that feeling, but that was so long. I mean, that's a different life. Maybe when I was 20 was the last time that happened to me. I haven't had that happen to me in years.
I kept on, I would turn my iPhone volume all the way up
Yeah,
and I would sleep through it. So I had to go and buy
an actual alarm.
an alarm clock. Yeah. I'm like, who just has a device that does one thing these days?
Almost every day, I set my alarm for the next morning and I check my volume.
Yeah.
Because I do not like when the volume is going to go off too loud. In addition to that, just like this morning, I never make it to my alarm. No matter what time I set, I wake up before it. It's kind of crazy.
It's so healthy though.
Even
Monday,
even Monday morning, like Sunday, I was up till very late. Just the adrenaline, the dinner, all the activities after church. And I thought Monday morning I'm sleeping in for sure. I'm going to sleep in 5:20 a.m. I'm like, no,
5:20.
no, stop. No, not today.
This is the day to
This is my day. What are you doing? Can't turn it off. I'm like, come on, guys. We've talked about this.
But then don't you appreciate the time when you wake up and no one else is awake?
Oh, it's my favorite. What? Julia asked me most mornings, what time did you get up?
Yeah.
And then I'll tell her and she's like, wow. She's like, why did you do that? I crave coffee by myself with productivity. I crave it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm up, motivated to get that coffee going and time by myself.
But you've always been an early morning guy.
Yeah, I mean, since around 20, probably 20. My freshman year in college, I wasn't. My sophomore year in college, I became an early morning guy, and I haven't looked back.
Wow.
It's fun. But going back to the original question, last night we went out as a family, and we were driving around Santa Monica, and I had to get a haircut, so I'm like, let's all go so we don't get stuck at home tonight. Monday's a very tricky night for our family, and so we're driving around, and Julia's like, let's get dinner. I don't want to do dishes tonight, 100%. So you throw out sweet greens, kava. We're a family of six. We're a family of six. Chipotle. We're trying to stay within the budget. And we're driving down, we get down to Venice, and she's like, we've never eaten at this restaurant. And I'm like, oh, that's one of my favorite. She's like, come on, let's do it. It's Monday. Let's be adventurous. So I'm like, 100%. Right now, my emotions are everywhere. It's Monday night. So we go and we have an amazing dinner. We finish, and I'm gonna get all the kids in the van. You sort the bill. So I get them all loaded up. But we pull up to the front. Julie gets in the van. She looks at me. She's like, "Oh, that was a mistake." And I go, "Really? Like, what do you mean? Like, give me a ballpark." She's like, "You don't want to know." And I'm like, "Actually, I do want to know." She tells me the figure, and I'm just like, "I could have went to Chipotle. I could have went to Kava. I could have went to these kids don't care.
And they would not have cared.
These kids don't care."
Yeah.
I mean, me and Julia had the time of our life, but it's like, oh man, there's no worse feeling.
But now even if you go to Chick-fil-A, it is like in the hundreds with a family your size.
Oh, all of it is expensive.
It's crazy.
But it's not as expensive as last night's bill. All of it is expensive. But it's like, there's nothing worse, because it's like, I'm really trying to get good at staying. I'm really trying to get good at being within, all that stuff, adult stuff.
If you're gonna overspend, is it gonna be on an experience?
It would never be on an item. I will never overspend on an item. No. Thank God I haven't had to pay for golf clubs in quite a while. So thank God, as you say that. I don't splurge on shoes. I'm not gonna buy shoes. I'm not gonna buy food. Experience.
Yep.
100%. Travel. 1,000%. At this point, I wear church merch and and what people bring by the
yeah.
office. Yeah, I'm not. No, but man, last night we're leaving, and she tells me, and I'm just driving home like, man,
Was it worth it?
my dad would kill me right now.
What a great thought. And, yeah.
All right, let's go. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Leadership Lean In. We are a podcast that is quickly approaching our 200th episode. In fact, next episode, I'm going to tell you about what we are doing for our 200th episode together. We want to invite you to come to a live recording of Leadership Lean In. We're going to give you the details soon. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for inviting people in to the conversation of this podcast. We are some leaders that are obsessed with learning about this subject. Like Craig Rochelle says, when the leader gets better, everybody gets better. So we're trying to get better. We're trying to improve. We're trying to become the best leader that we can become and tap into our full potential. You are laced with amazing potential, and we're trying to tap into that to become the best leaders that we could possibly become. So thank you for your yes and for being about leadership. Today, I want to talk about for the people that have been around leadership leading a long time, they know right before we get going, I like to do this little drum roll. Ready? Let's do it one more time. Here we go. Kind of something like that.
The second time's never.
Yeah, I got to get that table back. Anyways, I want to talk today about the lies of leadership. There are so many leaders that have signed up for the wrong reason, or so many leaders that are leading today that are still believing some of the lies, some of the misleading quotes or misguided half-truths, some of the myths about leadership. And I want to just dispel and expose some of them that are really not true. And leadership to me is about becoming the most authentic, genuine person you can become so people experience the real version of you. And I just want to just expose some lies right from the jump so you don't fall victim, you don't fall prey. These are some lies that I believed early on when I started leadership, believing I had to be this way or do this or know them or act this way. I was thinking about this lie. Years ago, there was this pastor that told me, you know, I finally found my famous person to pastor. And when they told me this, I was like, help me out here. I don't understand what you're saying. And he's like, yeah, you know, because so-and-so told me that I need to have somebody, that was of, good reputation, famous. And so, all pastors need somebody to have under their care to lead. And I just remember kind of laughing like, are you being serious right now? I don't think you're being serious. It's like, no, I finally got one. And I just was trying to encourage this person like, hey, that is the furthest thing from the truth. You do not need two pastors. I don't know who told you this, but we want to be faithful with whoever God puts under our care. What a lie this person was led to believe. And I just wonder, what lies have you been fed? What lies have you believed about leadership? Let's expose a few and maybe you resonate with one or two of them. Here's the first one. I have to have all the answers. No, you don't. You do not have to have all the answers. Now, you need to ask all the questions. You need to go seek truth. You need to go get insight, revelation, knowledge, and understanding. You need to listen to wisdom calling out in the streets, calling it your name, put it around your neck, call it your sister. It'll promote you, advance you, honor you, and show you a long life. But you don't need to have all the answers. In fact, the saying is still true. If you're the smartest person in every room you walk in, go find another room. I marvel at the intellect and the experience of others. And what lie is this that you've been fed that you need to have all the answers? Let's reframe it. You should ask all the questions. A great leader asks great questions. So the onus is not on you to have answers, but the pressure is on you to be asking all the right questions. So don't ever feel the pressure like, I got to have the answer for that. I got to have the answer for that. No, hopefully I have the contact that will help me find the answer. I have the relationship, I have the mentor, or I have the podcast that's going to help answer that for me. But I don't have to have all. Who lied to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's like a pressure of going like, if I don't give them the answer, are they going to still need me?
Yes.
And it's like, that's a lie too. You don't need to be needed. You want to be needed.
Man.
The lie is that your leadership is still effective. If people need you, you might be leading something that's about you, not about an actual movement or making impact.
That's right. And I think that's such an important delineation to understand. Are you needed or wanted? Wanted to me is invited. Needed, I think, can become a source of manipulation where I find people constantly requiring people to still need them. They need me to talk it. They need my input. They need my wisdom. True empowerment is they don't need me.
That's right.
And so, yeah, you've got to get rid of that lie that you need to have all the answers and they need my
pontificate.
Get out of here. You don't need to ask all the questions.
Yeah.
And I think what a lie. Number two, I have to have all the authority. So all the power has to be mine. What a lie. I'd rather give away my authority and say they're empowered to make this decision. They have the authority on, this is so small, but that's how I look at vacation requests. Like someone the other day looped me in on a vacation request and I was like, did they mean to email me? I don't make these decisions. And then so-and-so texted me, was like, hey, I'm so sorry they put you on that email. You should never see that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, thanks so much. That was really weird. But I'm like, I don't have all the authority.
Yep.
I don't have all the authority on money. I don't have all the authority on time off. I don't have all the authority on, fill in the blank. I think the greatest leaders give away their authority.
That's right.
They empower other people. And again, I've said it before. Let me say it on this pod again. The greatest leader to ever walk the face of the earth is a man named Jesus, and he gives away all of his authority to these 70 different people and sends them out by the two. That is, to me, great leadership. So the lie is, I got to keep my authority. Will I be needed? Will I be as important if I give it away? Your life depends on what you give away, not what you retain. The power of your leadership is not found in what you sit in. The power of your leadership is found in what you send out. And so send away your authority, give it away like your life depends on it. Number three, I have to be perfect. Nobody is perfect. You, my friend, most certainly are not perfect. And I cannot have enough gigabytes and space on these cards. There's not enough time for me to talk to you about how imperfect me and Nate Dogg are. We are,
right.
We are so flawed, just like you. And nobody's asking you to be perfect. Who lied to you that said you need to have all the answers and keep all the authority and you need to be perfect? People admire your strengths, but they relate with your weaknesses. So take your Superman cape off. No one even thinks that you're perfect. In fact, behind your back, they understand that you have a bright side to your leadership and you have a very dark side to your leadership. They know you're not perfect. So don't try and act like you are and that you have all your stuff put together. It's okay for you to admit weakness. It's okay for you to admit when you don't understand something or know something. It's okay to admit when you feel afraid. No one is asking you to be perfect. There is only one perfect leader in the history of the world, and his name is not yours. His name is Jesus. And so don't feel like you've got to be perfect. Now, we want to be excellent. We want to be prepared. We want to be positive. We want to be polished. We want to have a good reputation and have good rapport. We want to speak well of others. We want to be ready for every occasion. So I'm not saying that you need to be sloppy, but what I am saying is there's no pressure on you to be a perfect leader. You're going to make mistakes. That's why you have to have margin for human error. You're going to miss it. You're going to not text back, not email back, not be there for the meeting, deal with sickness, deal with your own attitude. You're going to make mistakes. And because you require grace, you're going to have to give grace. Because you require a second chance, you're going to have to give a second chance. Because you, my friend, like me, like Nate Dogg, you are not perfect. Who lied to you and told you that you need to be perfect?
It's just exhausting. It is
Yeah.
just trying to be perfect, trying to keep, I always think of the Warriors when they broke the scoring or the
72.
win. Yeah.
Yeah.
They won 73. They didn't win the championship.
That year, no.
The pressure of maintaining perfection
Man.
will crush you.
Yeah.
And it crushes you before anybody else.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the stuff falls apart because now there's no standard. The only way to go once you're at the top is down.
That's exactly right.
And
what is the goal? The goal is to be the best version of ourselves. The goal is to be the healthiest version of ourselves. And so the goal is constant growth, not constant perfection.
Yeah.
Don't believe the lie that you need to be perfect. You need to be better and more mature than you were last year, and probably even more mature and better than you were last season, but you don't have to be perfect. That's a lie. Number 4, I have to be fair or treat everyone the same. Oh, do I love this one. What a lie. My boys will say to me, Dad, that's not fair. And when they say this, I light up like a Christmas tree. Here comes one of my favorite songs. Oh, it's not fair? But let me remind you, son, life's not fair, and it will never be fair for you, for me, or anybody else. And then right when I'm done, the rolling of the eyes. Let me sing it again. Life's not fair, and it will never be fair for you, for me, or anybody else. They can't stand it. But I'm just telling you, life's not fair. And it will never be fair for you, for me, or anybody else. And I don't have to treat people fairly. Some people have ridiculous favor on their life. And one thing I noticed about favor ain't fair.
Right.
It opens up doors. Joseph had favor. Did his brothers have the same favor? No, that's why they were jealous. That's why they couldn't stand him, because he had such crazy favor. He's wearing this Gucci coat. He's got dreams. He's got favor. And no man can take away your favor that's on your life. Throw me in a pit or a Potiphar's, throw me in a prison cell or a Pharaoh's kingdom. It doesn't matter. When you got favor on your life, favor is not fair. So I'm not going to treat people fairly. I'm going to treat people the way that I feel like is appropriate, what's on their life, what kind of gifting, what kind of character, what kind of talent, what kind of calling. I've got to have a relationship with each person, and I need to have a sensitivity to understand how to handle every person in my world. But by the way, there was 3 that got to go a little bit more intimate than the other 12, who got to go a little bit more intimate than the 70. And there was 3, but there was 1 that he loved. And none of that is fair. None of that is fair, but I'm not going after fair. I'm going after what I believe is in my heart, the law of attraction. Who am I drawn to? Who do I want to invest to? Who do I want to spend time with? This is so important that you understand it's not going to always be fair with what you allow, with what you tolerate, with what your proximity, your authority. That's not fair, but it is what you believe is right, what you believe is appropriate, what you believe is what you're supposed to do. And I always love that scripture. Each man should give what he's decided in his heart. Give favor, give blessing, give proximity when you have it in your heart. So my goal is not fairness, but my goal is to be appropriate with who God has placed in my life.
Yeah, I think fair is difficult for a leader because the leader doesn't get the opportunity to decide what's fair. They're just held by the standard of the people who think it's unfair. And so the leader has 10 other opinions who all have a different standard of what's fair for them.
Right.
And at the end of the day, no one actually wants fair. They want favor.
That's exactly right.
Like you don't want fair. You want to be favored.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why you work hard. That's why you set yourself apart, because there is favor.
Yep.
And it's different. If everything was the same for everybody, you would have no motivation to become a better version of yourself.
How bland, how boring would it be if everybody just has the same thing?
Yeah,
It's terrible.
My kids believe the lie too.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's all of it.
Dad, that's not fair.
That's not fair.
Dad.
Life's not fair. Yeah, it's my favorite.
Life's not fair, man. Buckle up, sweetheart. You think it's fair when I was a kid and I was walking to school in the snow 4 feet and I didn't have any shoes? You think you call that fair?
The 4-year-old.
Yeah, enough, Dad. Number 5, here's another lie. I have to be lonely. What? Oh, so you're a leader and you believe the lie that It's lonely at the top. No. Life is as lonely as you make it. Like, I understand what you're trying to say, that nobody understands the sacrifice you make. Nobody understands and sees how hard you work in the shadows. And by the way, there is no thank you card that's coming. There is no thank you card that is suffice for how hard you work and the hours that you put in and the care and the concern that you lead with. You'll get your reward on the other side. But I will say this, it doesn't have to be lonely. Don't believe the lie that I've got to be a leader, which requires me to be by myself. Now, you need to carve out a lot of time to think. You need to carve out a lot of time to strategize. You need to carve a lot of time to prepare and to be ready when you are in public. I believe private devotion leads to power in public. But I will say this, you don't have to be lonely. Jesus was not lonely. He's rolling with his crew. He's rolling with his guys. Come on, we're going to the next city. Come on, we're going to go do this. He's eating with notorious sinners. Again, he's the greatest leader to ever walk the face of the earth. Who's the next guy that we see that's a big leader in the Bible? How about a guy named the Apostle Paul? And what did he say? I didn't just share all this information with you. I shared my life with you. So don't believe the lie that in order to be a great leader, nobody can get close to you or have proximity. I believe that one of the most powerful things about leadership is connecting well with others. You are called to connect. You are called to raise up and develop, mentor, and release the next generation of leaders. So how are you going to do that and be lonely? There is a time to be lonely. There is some moments you need to be lonely within your week flow, within your workflow. But then there's a lot of time that requires you to be social and around others. And maybe what's missing from your leadership is the fact that there's nobody that's really around you. Like, it says so much about who you are as a person and who you are as a leader by those that are around you. How long have they been around you? How healthy are the people that are around you? A few years ago, somebody came to visit us for an event we were doing. And when we got in the car to leave the event, he said, man, every time I come here, I look at the people around you and I look at how happy they are. And I can tell they're getting healthier and healthier. He goes, it reminds me of where I come from. It just felt like everybody was getting sicker and sicker every year, a sickness. And he was coming from a place that had a massive fall and a massive situation, chaos. And what a compliment. I did not take that lightly, that this friend of mine were to say, everybody around you carries joy, carries peace, carries excitement, carries faith. Everyone's friendly, everybody's kind. That says a lot about who you are. It says a lot about what your team is about. Don't believe the lie that you've got to be lonely and it's just, I've got to get better. I've got to improve. I've got to be the best. I've got to be perfect. No, you actually need to take what's in you and download it into others. You teach what you know, but you reproduce who you are.
That's right. You said, the lie of loneliness, and, not everyone's going to understand the sacrifice I give. I have to ask you, how often do you get home and go, man, the sacrifice I gave today?
Not one time.
Not one time.
Never.
If you're already there.
Yeah, you're done.
Then
something's off.
You got to get some rest. You got to have some conversations.
It's always the sign to me. It's always the sign to me something's off when somebody starts talking to me about hours.
Yes.
We're talking hours.
Oh, we're crunching numbers now. We're checking clocks.
Yeah, you're done. You're not going to make it. I just know you're not going to make it because you don't see that this whole thing runs off sacrifice.
Yeah.
And most of your job's going to be done in the shadows when nobody else sees. And my thank you card would never come. There's no person, not my wife, not my kids, not my coworkers, not my friends, that can give me a thank you that's like, all right, I'm going to keep going. What?
Yeah. You know what? Something I'm so thankful for. Whenever we have meetings with our creatives, the first thing that you say, hey, thank you so much for sacrificing your time to be here. And right away, you just go, hey, we're all doing this together.
It all runs on sacrifice.
No one is siloed.
That's right.
No one's lonely. We're doing this together. We're sacrificing together.
Yeah. And I think the lie of loneliness is to go, I have to be lonely. I've got to be separated. I got to be set apart. They can't see my true colors. They can't see my weakness. I understand all that. And there is some truth. I'm not saying that Leadership has all these half truths in it.
Yeah.
But it's a lie to say that you have to remain lonely. You can't find a friend.
Yeah.
You can't find somebody to talk to.
Well, I think there's a difference between alone and lonely.
Yeah.
You know,
totally.
Like lonely is taking the effect of being alone and going, this is who, the effect of it. And being alone is good. It's healthy. You need that, to be set apart.
And maybe that person that's going to help you not feel alone is not in your city.
Yeah.
It's not in your everyday context. But you can find somebody to jump on the call with. I always find people that want to be offended are offended.
Mm-hmm.
People that want to have friends, find friends. What do you want?
That's right.
You want to live in a fence? You want to live in a weird world where you evolve into this weirdo? Or do you want to have people around you? The thing about community or friendship is like, they just don't let you get away with being a weirdo.
Yeah.
They call you out. Man, you got a booger in your nose, man. What are you doing?
Totally.
Why'd you talk to them like that?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you always feel the need to do that? Like, that's what a friend does. Faithful are the wounds of a friend. You need a friend to be a great leader. Number 6, I have to talk to them and it will fix everything. I love this lie. If I talk to them, but just let me talk to them. You know what? Yeah, I see that that's going on, but don't worry, I'll talk to them. You're going to fix everything? This is what you do? Are you Olivia Pope? Are you the fixer? You come in and scandal and you fix everything? No. I hope you can be a help. I hope you can be a strength. But you're not a fixer. You don't fix everything. And I think one of the lies is that if I talk to them, it'll all get better. You don't know how many people I've talked to and it still got worse. How many people I talked to, they still got divorced. They still left. They still had an issue. They still had addiction. They still continue to fall. And I talked to them. So the lie is you are the solution. And that I just want to combat that. No, it's not. You can be a strength and a source and a help and a blessing, but the buck doesn't stop with you. At the end of the day, people have this thing called free will. And they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to do what's in their heart. I can't control anybody. I cannot manipulate anybody. I have to give people the ability to make decisions just as I'm making choices to carve out my future. And one of the lies that I find in a lot of leaders is I'm going to talk to them and it's going to solve everything. I'm so sorry to burst your bubble, but you're going to talk to them. You're going to think it's solved. And maybe it did for a day, a week, or a month, but it did not solve the problem. They have to, in their own maturity and own strength, figure out how to put the dots together of who they are and who they proclaim to be. It's a big gap. And so you can help them and speak into it, but don't believe the lie that you're going to solve them. You're still trying to solve you. How are you going to solve them?
Yeah, the lie that you're going to solve them is, I don't know if arrogance is the right word.
It is arrogance.
It is just
stupidity.
A level of dictatorship.
Narcissism.
Yeah, there it is. It's scary.
I'm the fixer.
As if there's nothing that you have going on that needs fixing as well,
I think it's such a great distraction for some leaders to go, I'm not going to worry about me. I'm going to go fix everybody else.
Yeah.
Do you think this is why?
Fires. There's just.
Yeah. Do you think this is why the let them from Mel Robbins has exploded?
I'm not sure.
Have you heard her let them theory?
Yes.
Mel Robbins.
Yeah.
Let them. I wonder how much liberty has come from these thoughts.
Yes. Yep.
That she's gone, let them. And I wonder how many leaders are going, no, I can't let them. Just let them leave, let them figure it out. But how are they going to figure it out without me? They need me.
Yeah.
Let them. It's so crazy to me. This is what I always believe. I wasn't good enough to attract them and get them to sacrifice that much and get them to go over and above and get them to give all those hours. I didn't recruit them to do that. So why would I work so hard on the back end to try and get them to stay?
Yeah. If they've already decided in their heart, then we can give our 2 cents or advice, or hopefully they learn. You said something. These types of leaders that have a conversation, they leave so encouraged. What I just said was so good.
Yeah.
It's fixed. I fixed them.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks down the line, 3 weeks down the line, when you didn't follow up because you thought your conversation fixed it,
yeah,
that person's worse off than that original conversation.
Yeah. So what I'm not saying is don't love people and help people and
Yeah.
engage and be a good leader and hold people accountable and hold people to a high standard. And the let them theory I wrestle with, like you probably have gone like let them, but like I'm also like I'm in charge of people and I got to help them. So it's like
You can't
let
just
them help them.
Yeah, what did Paul said? I can't remember who he was talking about. He's like, we gave him to the devil.
Yeah, we did. We turned them over.
We tried our best. We had to let him go.
Alexander the Coppersmith, he caused me much harm. We just give him over. Yeah, he was the first let them. but yeah, I think that the at the soul level, it's not walking around lording your authority, going, I'm a fixer. I come in, I fix everybody. Again, we need your wisdom. We need your leadership. We need your ear. We need your help. Maybe you are the Moses, and you're doing so much good. Empower other people to help. Maybe you're the Solomon. You got such crazy wisdom. You figure out whose baby is this. That's unbelievable. But just make sure that you never get to the place where you're like, they need me. They need me so bad. They just need me. They need a coffee with me, a breakfast with me. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're part of the solution. You are not the solution. One more, number 7. I have to be liked. Being a leader to me is being okay with being unliked. There's a lot of people that today do not like me in my world. And why don't they like me? Because I'm a leader. And I have to speak up and I have to hold them accountable. I have to say things. I have to address attitudes or issues. I have to say no to budgets. If I wanted to be in a popularity contest, I would not be a leader. Being a leader is being okay with being unliked. And that's just part of the program. It's like being a parent. My kids last night were so upset because they had no school yesterday. They're so upset that I didn't let them have screens all day. And they thought they were getting screens at night. Little did they know they were going to an expensive dinner, but they didn't get screens at night. And they were so upset. I'm not their dad so I can be liked. I'm their dad because I'm trying to develop and grow and raise them to become competent, independent, strong leaders themselves. So just know it's such a lie that if you're a leader, you got to be liked. I would say let's be opposite. If I'm a leader, I'm okay with being unliked.
It's impossible to always stay liked because the leader is attached to the image of the organization. So if there's a failure anywhere in the organization, it's your fault.
It's your fault.
It's your issue. Even if you had no idea, no hand in it, if it was, tears down in the leadership, it's still you.
It's still you.
You got to be okay with being unliked because it's not fair. It's like life's not fair.
It's not fair. It's not fair. Why did I get that bill? Well, because you're the leader.
Yeah.
And I just think it's very freeing to go, my job is not to get everyone to like me. I would rather have people's respect than have them like me. I would rather have people's trust than people's popularity. To be trusted and respected, oh man, what's that worth? Jeez. To be trusted and respected, the ultimate. Why do people trust you? It's the content of your character. Why do people respect you? It's probably your resilience and your ability to keep going in the face of adversity. It's the quality of who you are. It isn't even, it's like SNL 50 just happened.
Yeah.
And
Iconic.
I didn't watch it, but I saw some clips.
Same.
And Alec Baldwin got up and they said, Alec Baldwin hosted 17 times. I said,
what?
I said, was 7? Did he say 17?
What?
17 times hosting? Like that's tenure.
Yep.
That
trust.
And you think about the fires that you got to walk through and the situations and the seasons of life and the disappointment and the heartache and blah, blah, blah. And you're still smiling? You still in the game? Oh yeah, I trust you. Why do I trust you? Because it's like, man, I saw how you handled that. I listen to the way you speak behind people's back. Wow. You're something else. You have my respect. I really respect you. And in fact, I don't think you're a gossip. I think the opposite. I trust you. And so it's not even on my radar. I don't need people to like me. I do need people to trust me, and I do need people to respect me. You're doing better than you think you are. There's more people that are for you than are against you. Don't believe the lies of leadership. You keep on growing, developing, and maturing, and you're going to see great things happen in your life, and you're going to see great things happen through your life. The best is yet to come.